When you lock in your market research process, the copy practically writes itself. If you're new here, my name is Kevin. I'm an e-commerce email marketer. Welcome to my channel where I share insights on how to scale your online business through email marketing. Just like the tips I'm going to share with you in this video that will help you dial in your copy to make it more effective, thus making you more money. The tips I share with you are based on experience, no theory, and it's what has allowed me to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in email sales for my clients in my first year as an email marketer. Now let's dive into it. Why is market research important? Okay, we first need to fundamentally understand this before we dive into everything market research. First of all, this is the foundation that fuels your copywriting efforts. Okay, if you don't know who you're talking to, what they're interested in, their preconceived notions, etc., then you're not giving yourself the best chance to persuade them through your writing. It's kind of like when you're talking to a girl or a guy that you're interested in. Okay, let's say you're out and about, you see a girl, you see a guy, they caught your attention, you want to strike a conversation up with them. When you do that, you're either going to go in with preloaded information to be able to strike up a conversation, or you're going to start and quickly try to figure out something that you guys have in common to build off of that foundation through conversation. Now, if you go in talking to this person and you have nothing legitimately interesting to say or anything legitimately interesting that they want to hear, it's going to be an awkward or embarrassing conversation where they're just completely disinterested and you're going to walk away with your head down in shame. An easy way to think about this is your research is your ammo. Okay, you've got to have the ammo to shoot your shot. Spending a good amount of time here will also make your writing process much easier. Okay, and if you feel like in the past you've had writer's block, or maybe you're experiencing that now over the last couple of weeks, then the problem is not that you have writer's block. The problem is that you don't know your market well enough. So go back to researching and understanding the market. Now let's move on to what you actually need when you're conducting market research yourself. What you need from market research, well, there's quite a bit of information that you want to gather from your market research. Ultimately, you want to have an understanding of the market your product/offer is serving well enough to be able to explain it simply. Okay? It should also come across your copy that you're one of them, meaning when a prospect or customer is reading from your email copy, they feel like you understand them well and that you're one of them, not some corporation trying to sell them on something. You do not want your copy to create a barrier between you and your target market. Okay, that's the last thing you want. So now I'm going to share with you some things that you should be doing when conducting market research. Now, there's no specific order, there is no template that I'm going to give you. The reason being is I want you to build your own system, your own process that works specifically for you. Okay? Now, when you're doing market research, you want to learn about their pain points. What are they suffering with? On a daily basis, on a weekly basis? Is it something that's just super consistent, or is it on and off? What's keeping them up at night, essentially? What are their dreams? How do they envision their life to be a week from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now? What beliefs are they holding within themselves? Okay, do they have limiting beliefs? Do they have serving beliefs? Do they have a belief that's going to work against you as a copywriter? So now you need to overcome that? Or do they have a belief that you can latch on and it's going to work in line with what you're offering slash serving them with, right? What do they identify with that gives them confidence? What do they identify with that makes them comfortable? What's just so impeccably strong in their identity that you can leverage in your writing to persuade them to take you up on an offer that you have for them? What problems are they facing? Okay, what problems are keeping them from actually achieving their dream state? What problems are they having that's causing them this pain? Obstacles that they have or are facing that they need to overcome, what are they? Language. What phrases do they use? What jargon is being leveraged or used in that market that you're going to want to use so that you sound like you're one of them, okay? And then where from, where to? Where are they coming from before they meet you? What? Oh, cool! I got a thumbs up. where where are they coming from? Are they coming? This can mean various things. What have they experienced in the past that is now leading them to you? Are they coming through specific types of marketing formats, such as ads, maybe organic, social platforms, whatever? And then where do they want to be, slash, where do you want them to be? Okay? Now, you might have noticed I haven't really shared much about demographics, and I'm not going to, considering it's very basic and straightforward. Plus, psychographics are massively more important in moving that needle forward through your copy. Okay, now I'm not saying that demographics aren't important. You do want to have that settled, but I don't believe most of your time conducting market research is needed in the demographic side of things. Now, let's discuss how you go about gathering this information. Okay, how to gather this information. I'm going to leave you with some principles, tactics. Now, I want to emphasize a couple of principles. They're going to serve you well, and it's because we don't know if the tactics I'm sharing with you now or the tactics you learn now or in the past or within this next year are actually going to be relevant or useful to you. So, when I share these principles, these are going to be your north stars, your guiding frameworks, okay? These are going to be your guiding frameworks that you can test against specific tactics to see if they're actually useful, okay? And you're not going on some random YouTube channel or YouTube video trying to, learn from someone and they're saying, "Oh, this works," but in reality it doesn't, because now you have principles that you can test it against it, okay? Also, maybe I share a couple of these principles and they spark an idea of how you can formulate or lean into a specific tactic or process that works really well for you, giving you a competitive edge. So, first principle I want to leave you with is the more anonymous the feedback or thoughts of your market, the more accurate. Okay? For the most part, by the way. It's not 100% of the time, but for the most part, the more anonymous the feedback or thoughts of your market, the more accurate they will be. Now, it's up to you to decipher whether or not a specific thought or piece of feedback from your target market is legitimate, okay? And you'll be able to figure that out. Like, you can tell if someone's trolling you or someone's just BSing you or whatever. Like, you're going to, there's a thumbs up again. I guess this video is going good. It's telling you that you need to give this video a thumbs up. um but anyways, for the most part, it's fairly accurate. You need to decipher as a human being with a legitimate skill set whether or not it's actually worth listening to and giving your time and attention and energy to it or not. Second principle is people say one thing and they mean another. Okay, it's just in our nature that oftentimes, especially when it comes to emotionally charged statements, people will say one thing and they will completely mean another. And that principle is to be able to read between the lines. Now, this comes natural to us as people, as human beings, okay? For some people, it comes more natural. For others, maybe not so much, but it's in us to be able to actually understand and decipher this and discern whether or not what someone is saying is legitimately what they mean or if they mean something completely different. Okay? This is why when people say, and I'm just going to plug this in real quick, this might actually help you a lot if you're just starting out in copywriting, is that AI, when people say AI is going to come after your job as a copywriter, like they're going to put you out of business, whatever, it's not actually going to happen because AI, as of right now, does not have the ability to discern whether or not someone is saying what they actually mean. Okay? That is something a human does. Therefore, if you master this and you master your research, it's not coming for you. Okay? Little side note, we'll leave it at that. Now let's talk tactics. Reddit. I'm just gonna go through a list. Okay, Reddit is my favorite based on the principle of being anonymous. Okay, I'm not going to try to say that word because I was having trouble with it earlier. Amazon, great tool to use. You can look at Amazon reviews. For me, it's hit or miss, but this is a key thing that you need to understand is that all these different formats or these tactical approaches, you need to discern once again whether or not this will work for your offer based on the market you're in. Okay, or this will work for your market based on the offer you have. Sorry. And and you just want to work in congruence of your market as well as what you're offering and the platform or the tactic you're leveraging. Okay, now communities are fantastic, whether they're private or public. Private, because there is a barrier of entry. Wherever there is a barrier of entry, there is going to be a higher concentration of people or of your target market that can give you a lot more valuable. So for example, if there is a if there's a course creator that offers that offers a course on how to build your own fashion brand. And you go in there as a marketer. You are going, and your target customer, your ideal client, are e-commerce founders who are in fashion specifically, like that's the niche. You're going to learn a lot more about what they struggle with, what they really want, what their pain points are, their dreams, their desires, their obstacles, their problems, etc. And you're going to be able to write better sales messaging to convert them as a client. And that goes for anything and everything, okay? It could also be something as simple as a private Facebook group, either behind a paywall or more of a filtration process where you have to do an application, right? So they're legitimately just trying to get a very specific type of person, and if you're able to get in these communities, then you're going to have a better chance of getting more charged and concentrated information from that specific market. Now, public communities are great as well, okay? It can be something as simple as a public Facebook group. It can also be something like where people congregate for their favorite influencer, okay? Could be on Instagram, could be on YouTube, whatever it is. And you can just people congregate in the comments, or maybe they offer a free public group that you can go through, or a free community that you can, be a part of. Books are something that's very powerful as well, because for two reasons. First, people that write books put a lot of time into research, and you're going to get that out of their book. Now, you have to, again, as a person who is a professional, you're going to have to discern whether or not a specific author is worth reading from. Okay. On top of that, another reason is that oftentimes, especially older books, people are dispelling a ton of experience and information that they have accrued over multiple decades of their life. Okay, so this isn't theory, this is actual execution and experience that they lived through, that they had the ups and the downs, right? And they're putting this into a book. That's powerful. Okay, so if you just find a book that is related to your target market, that could be something very powerful to leverage for your research. Now, audience surveys. So just surveying your list. We're talking about email copywriting, assuming you have an email list. So you can actually survey people who have bought, who haven't bought, who bought today, who bought 2 years ago. If you have a software company, a SaaS business, right? And in your model, you actually give demo calls. If someone goes through a demo call and does not convert, you can actually follow up with them and incentivize. You can survey them. Okay, first of all, you can incentivize them to go through the survey as well, so that you can learn not just how to improve your product, how to improve your demo calls, but on how to improve the way you communicate your offer. Okay. Now, talking to your client, oftentimes e-commerce founders or company founders in general start their companies based on a problem they experienced themselves that they sought out to solve, and then they did, and now they're trying to provide that resolution to many other people. So sometimes the founder is going to be the best person to talk to in market research, and it's one of the great things that you can do, because first of all, if you're going in as a marketer, it's easier to just tap into them and have a conversation right off the bat to get you caught up to speed, to at least have a foundational level of knowledge. And then you can go leverage other tactics to expand upon that and really refine your market research and dial in upon that. Asking as a customer or acting as a customer in the market. Okay. This is the process of you actually going through a purchasing decision as a customer in your market with competitors. And to give you an example, it could be for example, if you're working with a watch brand, right? Perhaps, like if you're not someone who wears watches or whatever, perhaps you go through and you purchase with other brands, or you pretend you're going to purchase with your own client, your own brand, and think about the questions that go through your mind. Or you can even go in person to an actual watch store and go through that process. See how people treat you, see what questions arise in your mind, see what the experience is like, both from a positive perspective and a negative perspective, and notate all that, right? And so that's very powerful that you can actually learn a lot about your market and the jargon they use, etc. Now, the next tactic, very powerful tactic, is talking directly to your customers. Now, some people, they don't like to do this for whatever reason. They're scared to talk to people. They feel like it takes up too much time, whatever. It depends on how you're actually executing a project, whether you're the founder of a company, or if you're a marketer that's working long term, or if you're a marketer that's working short term. Like, obviously, you're going to pick and choose what you do to be able to get the job done. But talking directly to customers is very powerful, and you can incentivize them to hop on a call, whether it's through phone or Zoom, and you can ask very strategic questions to extract so much information from them that you can leverage in your copywriting, right? Social media, there's tons of platforms. Just go through it, look at what people are saying around specific topics that relate to your target market or to your offer. And I'll leave it at that. Like, that's more than enough. And these are some known, basic, and effective tactics. In fact, this is all you need. But consider getting creative every once in a while and reflecting on the current landscape of what you have available to you online and offline, and think, is there a better slash unique way for me to gather the info I need that is in tune with the principles for quality market research? If there is, explore it. If there isn't, cool. Come back, ask yourself that question in a couple months, 3 months, whatever. You'll be fine. Now, as you're going through this process of market research, you're going to learn, okay, what is it that is a core value to you that is important for you to understand when you're executing a specific tactic. Okay, what's important to you when you're finding this, when you're gathering this information? What is a principle that's important to you that it needs to be aligned with? Okay, for example, I gave you the more anonymous the feedback or thoughts of your market, the more accurate for the most part. Okay, this, you're going to have specific observations. Sometimes you're going to write something based on a specific type of research you did, and it performs really well. And so you track back and you think, okay, well, what was it that made this research so effective in helping me writing quality, high converting, highly profitable copy? Well, you're going to have an observation. You're going to mark that down as a principle, and you're going to add that to your list of principles. Okay. When you do that, it's going to do a few things for you. First of all, when you're learning from others, you're going to be able to discern whether or not what they're saying is true or not. Okay? Whether it's BS or if you can actually take that in and leverage it for the better. Now, it's also going to help you as the online world and technology advances and there's new platforms coming out and whatever. It's going to allow you to stress test immediately against your principles to see whether or not a tactic and a principle are aligned and get you what you need as a marketer, as a founder of a company, to be able to get the results that you want to get. Now, you may be wondering, Kevin, how do I organize all this information? Yeah, we got the tactics, we got the principles, but now I'm just overloaded with all this information. How do I actually organize it? Beautiful thing is, you get to decide. Okay, you probably already read a little bit further. It's as simple as that. You get to decide how you organize that information. Some people create beautiful templates, some people create in depth Excel sheets. Some people are in Canva creating 30, 40, 50 page documents with all these cool structures and pictures and whatever. Like, it's nice. But do you want to know my secret for creating the most effective and organized market research resource that I leverage to write highly profitable copy? Do you really want to know? Take a guess. Okay? Take a guess. I mean, look at how I'm presenting this information to you in this video, right? Like, I literally use a Google Doc. Okay? I love Google Docs. This is how I organize my market research. Okay? Let's go back up. I'll give you an example. So, like, okay, pain points. Cool. So I'm trying to gather information around my market's pain points. I'll write in a headline and like the title, like you see here, we have normal text, we have title, whatever. I'll click title, I'll write pain points, and then I'll literally just write bullets like this of what the pain points are, of what the feedback and what the thoughts are of the market. Copy and paste it in there, and organize it in that way. Then I'll highlight whatever stands out to me, whatever I deem higher priority in terms of importance, or what holds more weight, and then I'll repeat the process, right? Like, okay, we've got language. I'll copy and paste the phrases people are using, the jargon they use, and then when I go write the copy, it's going to sound like I'm one of them because I'm literally using their language. I'm using jargon that they're familiar with, and I'm talking about ideas and concepts that they feel deeply in their heart. They feel deeply in their core, right? So this is why it's so important to organize your market research and why you should even do market research. Okay, just create a system that works for your brain. Okay, whether it's an extravagant template or if it's as simple as a Google Doc of what I do, figure out what works for you and create your own system. Don't copy what others are doing if it doesn't serve you well. Okay, you need to be able to stand on your own. You don't want to have these dependencies, not even on me. Don't have a dependency on me. Literally take what you believe will work for you from me. Maybe out of the 10 things, 20 things I've said in this video, maybe there's one thing that you actually want to take. Okay, take that one thing and discard the rest. That is how you actually cement yourself as an authority, by creating your own system and learning what works best for you to be able to get the results that you want to get for yourself or for others. Okay, now let's move on to how to actually use your market research to write your email copy. All right, coming up here on the end. 21 minutes. If you've enjoyed this video, if you found value in any way, shape, or form, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of it, okay, because it's ludicrous to think that I can share with you everything that I know about this extensive topic of market research in one short video. Let me know, and I'll expand upon my ideas and what I do, etc. And then share this video as well. But anyways, using your market research to write emails. Okay. Now, while this video is mainly for market research tips for email copywriting, I'll share really quickly a bit on how you can transition to the actual copywriting part. And it's quite simple. If you've organized your research in an easy to understand format, now you can just scan based on categories and see what ideas you want to riff off of. For example, if you've strategized for a specific sequence and in one of the emails you want to twist a knife on a pain point, well, go back to all the information that you've collected in relation to your market's pain points, pick one, maybe the most significant one, and write your copy around that pain point. Okay? And just to give you a different angle, you can pick a pain point that is not so common, right? Maybe it's not as common or not as significant as other ones, but perhaps there is a segment of your audience that will resonate so deeply with that. And maybe other people in the audience that's going to receive that email didn't know that they actually have that pain point, and that can be very powerful as well. So you literally go back to your resource of market research, and you pick one. Write the copy around that pain point. Your market will feel incredibly heard, and this is how you can write more effective copy. Okay, now you have a resource of their psychographics, the phrases they use, the experiences they had prior to you, and what they wish to experience in the future. Now, writer's block becomes a myth because you now have a resource you can refer back to time and again. I do recommend updating or expanding upon it every so often, but those are some tips that I wanted to share with you. Do not stop your research journey here. It's an extensive topic that I recommend you solidify. However, I feel I've shared with you the right information to help you build yourself a very, very solid foundation. Now, if you're an e-commerce founder, whether you're in the DTC space or in the SaaS space or the coaching/consulting space, and you need help with your email marketing and would rather have someone else like me take care of this for you, then you can email me directly at kevin@vivosco.com and we can chat about how I can best serve you. That said, I'll see you in the next video. If you liked it, if you found value in it, you have some golden nuggets, give it a thumbs up. If you have suggestions on anything you want me to expand upon, comment on the video below. Share the video with people that you're trying to grow with. And let's grow our community. I've seen that our community has been growing. We're at 240 plus subscribers right now, and I'm loving it. And I love how engaged you guys are. I love how active you are. And I love the community that we're building because I'm actually having conversations with you who's on the other screen in some other part of the world. And it's beautiful conversations that I'm having with you guys. And I really appreciate your support. With that said, I'll see you in the next video.